Hello fight fans, in today's news, Justin Gaethje has no regrets fighting Max Holloway. Aljamain Sterling says his performance was the most dominant on the entire UFC 300 card. Belal Muhammad says he is fueled with hate towards Leon Edwards. Jamahal Hill claims he took no damage from his knockout loss to Alex Pereira. Justin Gaethje says he has no regrets about fighting Max Holloway, and he is happy for Dustin taking the title shot. Here is what he said.
Crazy game, I think a lot of people would have, in my position, sat out, not taking that fight and, waiting for that title fight. But, I have no regrets. I think it was, I had so much fun. I think it was such a huge historic card for the UFC. And to be a part of that, to be the best fight on that card, is going to live on forever, And again, it was a huge risk. I failed. And, if I would have won that fight, if I would have got a, quick knockout, I would have been taking that fight and I would have had that fight. But it's just the name of the game. I'm happy for Dustin, good for him. Somebody had to fight. I think no matter what, win or lose, it was going to be, obviously if I won, I think it was going to pretty much be impossible to turn around and fight, in 5 or 6 weeks. So this is the way that the UFC wants it to go. And so I guess, I can't complain about it.
Aljamain Sterling believes his performance was the most dominant on the entire UFC 300 card. Sterling moved up a weight class and faced Calvin Kattar in the featherweight division, dominating him on the ground, which fans found very boring to watch. Here is what Aljo said about the fight.
On that particular night of UFC 300 was not the most entertaining, but it was the most dominant fight I think you could have possibly looked at from the entire card from top to bottom. I think I'm arguably the top 3 most dominant on that entire fight card. So when you look at that, I think to keep it in perspective is you got a guy who's on average lands, I think, about 4 or 5 strikes per minute, like significant strikes, who was reduced to about 0.5 or something like that over 15 minutes. His resume of how dangerous he is goes on and on and on. So for me to use my skill set against his and to reduce him from being someone who's that dangerous to literally no threat whatsoever, I think it deserves a little bit of credit in that regard. Again, not the most exciting performance.
Belal Muhammad says he is fueled with hate towards Leon Edwards. The main reason for that is Leon downplaying his skills and achievements and saying he doesn't deserve a title shot. Here's what he said.
Is it bad blood, or do you not think of it in those terms?
No, I hate his guts. I've never, the last fighter I fought that, I had dislike for was Sean Brady, and it was just because he was talking all this trash, and it was like one of those things where I'm like, bro, I don't even know you, but you're acting like you're something else. For the Leon fight, then they're trying to avoid me, him trying to act like, downplaying my accomplishments and telling me that, I don't deserve it, I never earned it. That stuff does nothing but piss me off, and it's fueling me with hatred for this guy, and I just can't wait to get in there and get my hands on him, because my last 4 or 5 fights have been against guys that were so nice, right? I'm fighting Damian Maia, Wonder Boy, Luke. They're all nice guys, and it was obviously getting extra motivation to fight guys that you dislike. It's easier to wake up every day, but those guys a little bit harder. But for Leon Edwards, bro, I've been training for this guy for 2 years. My prime focus has been on him. I haven't been thinking about nobody but him. And when I go in there and I walk through him, he's going to go back into irrelevancy, and nobody's going to even think about him anymore. And he could go for forever, do whatever he wants to do. Just put the belt on the line, let me take that home, and you can go back into hiding.
Jamahal Hill recently spoke about his loss to Alex Pereira at UFC 300. The interesting part is that he claims he took no damage at all, despite being knocked out in the first round and taking a significant amount of ground and pound to the head.
My thoughts on the fight were how I felt in the fight. I felt good in the fight. Heading into the fight, I felt that in the fight I was doing good things. I was moving around. I felt I controlled the distance. I was controlling the position. I was controlling all the things, working through my game plan. Everything was working fine. I was able to find really good lead leg kicks that were able to hit the calf, inside leg kicks. I was finding the teep to the body. Finding my roundhouse, I was able to find straight shots to the body, able to come over the top with the right hand, able to find that at one point. I felt like I was opening up and starting to find my strikes and my tools, and I had him biting off of feints. was able to sell. Was able to start timing his. Only thing he was really throwing was the lead leg switch kick. I was able to time that. I was able to start getting him to woof on that, and he was pretty much only landing the body jab for the most part of the fight. Now, I took no damage. Most of the fall was me falling down. I remember everything. I remember looking up, seeing his legs. I remember him coming in, trying to block, trying to reach for the underhook. He's able to land some shots and kind of throw my equilibrium off on the other side. But I was coherent the whole time, throughout and through for the most part, you know. So I'll take this on. We moving forward.
And that wraps up today's news. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like button and smash the subscribe bell to stay in the loop. Keep supporting the sport, and we will see you in the next one.